up, the 1950 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, stick around because we'll explore why this coin is special, what to look for, and its current market value in fine condition. Let's start with a bit of history. The Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny was minted from 1909 to 1958, and it's one of the most iconic American coins. The reverse side of these pennies features two stalks of wheat, which is why collectors call them wheat pennies. The 1950 penny is particularly interesting because it was produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Denver and San Francisco coins carried their respective D and S mint marks, but the Philadelphia coins typically don't have a mint mark now. The 1950 penny without a mint mark, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, is the most common variety of this year's wheat pennies. But what makes some of these pennies valuable isn't just their year or mint mark. Condition plays a huge role, especially when talking about fine condition coins in coin collecting. Condition is everything. A coin's grade affects its value dramatically. Coins graded as fine show moderate wear but still retain many details of the original design. For the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny without mint mark, a fine condition coin shows clear features like the date, Lincoln's profile, and wheat stalks, but with some flattening due to circulation. If you have a 1950 wheat penny without a mint mark, how much is it worth? In today's market, the value varies depending on condition, demand, and rarity of specific errors or varieties. For a 1950 wheat penny without mint mark in fine condition, the value typically ranges from about $240, not a huge premium over face value, but still higher than many circulated pennies from other years. That's because these coins are relatively common and were minted in large quantities. Another factor that can increase value is if your coin is a rare variety or has an error, such as doubled dies or repunched mint marks. Although rare for the 1950 Philadelphia pennies, these errors can push the price much higher. So, should you keep a 1950 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark? Absolutely. Even though it's not a mega valuable coin, it's a key piece of American coinage history and a nice collectible, especially if in good condition. If you want to maximize value, keep your coins clean and protected. Avoid cleaning them yourself and consider getting valuable ones professionally graded. And always check for those rare error coins. You never know what you might have in your collection. The 1989 quarter with the P mint mark. We'll be exploring what makes these coins special, what very fine condition means, and most importantly, what they're worth in today's market. So if you're a collector or just curious about coin values, stick around because this one's packed with info. First off, let's talk a bit about the 1989 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1932, honoring our first president. In 1989, these quarters were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why you'll see the P mint mark on these coins. The P mint mark indicates that the coin was produced in Philadelphia, one of the primary U.S. mints. It's important to note that the Philadelphia Mint did not include a mint mark on quarters prior to 1980, so 1989 quarters with the P are part of a more modern era of coinage now. Before we get into the value, let's talk condition, because condition is king in coin collecting. The grading scale ranges from poor to mint state, with many levels in between. Very fine, or VF, is one of the intermediate grades. In the very fine condition, a coin shows moderate wear but all major details remain clear. The lettering, date, and mint mark are easily readable, and the overall design is still quite sharp. However, you will see some smoothing on the high points due to circulation. So, what's a 1989 Washington quarter with a P mint mark in very fine condition worth today? The straightforward answer is that these coins are mostly common. Millions were minted, so they aren't rare typically. A 1989 quarter in VF condition has a value slightly above face value due to minor collector interest. Most dealers price these between $120 and $150. Look for minting errors like double die obverse, off-center strikes, or die cracks. These errors can significantly boost value, sometimes into the tens or even hundreds of dollars. Proof-like or cameo finish. Some circulation coins have proof-like qualities due to minting variations. These are rare and could be worth more grading by a professional service. A coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC, especially if graded VF30 or higher, can command a premium right now. With the rising interest in coin collecting, fueled by online marketplaces, demand for high-quality quarters has seen a slight uptick. Still, the 1989 P quarter remains a common date, so it's not a high-value coin unless it's an error or in uncirculated condition. Next up, the Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny, specifically the 1958 no mint mark variety in a beautiful brown shade condition. If you're a collector or just curious about the history and value of this classic coin, stay tuned. We've got a lot to cover. First, a quick refresher. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was minted from 1909 all the way through 1958. It's called the Wheat Penny because of the wheat stalks on the reverse side, which were designed to symbolize prosperity and growth. The 1958 penny holds a special place because it was the last year of the wheat design before the mint switched to the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. The 1958 penny was primarily minted in Philadelphia, which means it doesn't carry a mint mark. Mint marks, like D for Denver or S for San Francisco, can add rarity and value, but in 1958, almost all pennies came from Philadelphia and simply had no mint mark. That's why the 1958 no mint mark penny is the standard for that year. Now, what really makes this penny special and potentially valuable is its condition and color. You see, pennies naturally oxidize and turn from their original bright copper to various shades of brown over time. Collectors prize those that have a beautiful, rich brown patina instead of a dull or damaged surface. A 1958 Wheat Penny in excellent brown condition is a real treasure because it means it's been well preserved for more than 60 years. When we talk about coin value, condition matters a lot. Coins are graded on a scale from good heavily worn all the way up to mint state, perfect condition straight from the mint. For the 1958 Wheat Penny without a mint mark, typical circulated examples might be worth just $1,000, but those in higher grades with eye-appealing brown color can be worth significantly more. Why such a range? It's all about the details. The sharpness of Lincoln's features, the smoothness of the fields, and the presence or absence of marks or scratches. Plus, the rich brown color is highly sought after because it adds aesthetic appeal and shows the coin aged gracefully. To wrap it up, the 1958 no mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny isn't just valuable because of its age or rarity. It's a tiny piece of American history, the last chapter of a beloved coin design that lasted nearly 50 years. And when you find one in that stunning brown shade, it's like holding a small piece of time that has survived decades of change. Next up, the Washington Quarter from 1982 with a P mint mark. Specifically, we'll explore its value in fine condition and what makes this seemingly ordinary coin quite special in today's market. So if you've got a handful of quarters from the early 80s, this video is definitely for you. The Washington Quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. The 1982 quarter, minted in Philadelphia, indicated by the P mint mark, is a common year in the series. But there's more to this coin than meets the eye. While most 1982 quarters aren't particularly rare, certain factors like condition, mint errors, and collector demand can significantly influence their value. So, what does the P stand for? That's right, Philadelphia, the original U.S. mint. City coins from Philadelphia usually don't carry a mint mark until the 1980s, so the 1982 P is notable because it's among the first quarters from Philadelphia to consistently bear the mark. Now, let's talk about condition. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. Fine condition means the coin shows moderate wear, but all major details like George Washington's profile, the date, and the lettering are clear and distinct. It's a popular grade among collectors. because it strikes a balance between rarity and affordability. So, what's the market value today? For a standard 1980 to P quarter in fine condition, the value mostly comes from its silver content, or does it? Actually, starting in 1965, Washington quarters switched from 90% silver to a copper-nickel-clad composition. That means the 1980 to quarters do not contain silver. Because of this, most 1980 to quarters, even in fine condition, are worth about face value, or slightly more to collectors who want to fill a collection. In fact, these coins typically sell for around $250.00 each in fine condition. Not a big jackpot, right? Look out for mint errors, like double dies, die cracks, or off-center strikes. These rare mistakes can boost the value of your quarter to several dollars or even more. Unfortunately, these error coins are pretty scarce and require expert grading. Next up, the 1950 to Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark in very fine condition. What makes this coin so special? How much is it really worth in today's market? First, let's talk about the history behind this coin. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, also known as the Wheat Cent, was minted from 1909 to 1958, designed by Victor David Brenner. It features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the back displays two wheat ears, symbolizing prosperity. The coin replaced the Indian head cent and became one of the most beloved coins in American history. The 1950 to Lincoln Wheat Penny was produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint pennies traditionally have no mint mark, while Denver coins have a D and San Francisco coins have an S mark below the date. The 1950 to no mint mark penny comes from Philadelphia. Now, unlike some rare pennies, this one isn't considered a key date or an extremely rare variety. However, what sets it apart in value is its condition. When it comes to coin collecting, condition is everything. The grading scale ranges from poor all the way up to mint state MS grades. Very fine, or VF, is a popular mid-grade category where the coin shows moderate wear but still retains most design details. Clearly, a 1950 to no mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny in very fine condition means you can still see the sharp details of Lincoln's hair, the wheat ears on the back, and the date is clearly legible. There will be some light wear from circulation, but the coin maintains good eye appeal. So, how much is a 1950 to no mint mark penny in very fine condition worth today? Well, the value can vary depending on market demand and the exact grade, but generally, these coins fetch anywhere from $180.00 in comparison. The Denver and San Francisco mint pennies from 1950 to generally hold a similar value in very fine condition, often trading in the same price range. However, because Philadelphia pennies have no mint mark, some collectors prefer them for their simplicity and history. If you happen to find a 1950 to Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark in your collection, and it looks to be in very fine condition, or better, you might be sitting on a nice little treasure. Remember, always have your coins professionally graded. If you think you have a high-grade specimen, it can really boost the coin's market value. Next up, the 1977 quarter without a mint mark in extra fine condition. What makes this coin special? And how much could it be worth today? The Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington, has been a staple of American coinage ever since. By 1977, these quarters were still made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, a standard since 1965 when the U.S. stopped using silver in circulating quarters. In 1977, quarters were minted in Philadelphia and Denver. Typically, coins from Denver carry a small D mint mark on the obverse, near Washington's neck, while Philadelphia coins usually have no mint mark at all. So, why focus on the quarters without a mint mark? Philadelphia quarters in 1977 were produced without a mint mark, which is pretty standard for Philadelphia coins from that era. However, not all Philadelphia quarters are equal. Some varieties and conditions can significantly increase a coin's value. Coins are graded based on their condition, ranging from poor to mint state, extra fine, or EF, is a high grade for circulated coins. An extra fine 1977 quarter shows only light wear on the highest points, with most of the design details sharp and clear in extra fine condition. The 1977 no mint mark quarter retains a lot of its original luster and detail, making it much more desirable for collectors than one showing heavy circulation. So, what is the value of a 1977 Philadelphia quarter without a mint mark in extra fine condition in today's market? Well, most circulated quarters from this year worth face value $1,200 due to their large mintage. However, coins graded as extra fine, especially those certified by reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC, can command a premium. As of 2025, a 1977 no mint mark Washington quarter in extra fine condition might sell for around $1,000 to $3,000. The exact value depends on the coin's appeal and demand. While that might not sound like much, remember, most quarters from this year and type sell for just face value or slightly more. So this premium is a sign of its collectible status for collectors really hunting for something special. There are also rare varieties and era coins from this period that can be worth significantly more, such as double dies, off-center, strikes, or unusual planchet errors. But a standard 1977 Philadelphia quarter without a mint mark, even in extra fine condition, doesn't usually reach the high values of these rarities. So always double-check your coin's specifics with a professional you think you have an error coin. So, to wrap up, while the 1977 no mint mark Washington quarter is quite common, finding one in extra fine condition can add a nice little premium if you ever decide to sell or trade. It's a great coin for beginner collectors to add some quality to their collection without breaking the bank. Next up, the 1947 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, and exploring why it's highly sought after, especially in extremely fine condition. If you love coins with rich history and real collector value, stay tuned. The Lincoln Wheat Penny is a cornerstone of U.S. coin collecting. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, the penny features one of the most recognizable portraits in American currency, the 16th president himself, and its reverse side shows two wheat ears, symbolizing prosperity. This design was minted all the way through 1958, making it a favorite among collectors now. 1947 was an interesting year for the Lincoln Wheat Penny. Coins from this year were minted at Philadelphia and Denver. The Denver mint coins carry a D mint mark, while the Philadelphia coins typically carry no mint mark at all. So the 1947 penny without a mint mark means it was struck in Philadelphia, but why is the 1947 penny without a mint mark special? Well, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 619 million pennies that year, so these aren't rare in sheer quantity. However, their value increases significantly when you consider their condition in coin collecting. Condition is king. The value of a coin is dramatically affected by its grade, which describes the amount of wear and damage the coin has endured. Extremely fine, or EF, also known as EF40 or EF45, means the coin has very light wear on the highest points but still retains much of its original detail and luster. For the 1947 Wheat Penny, an EF grade means you can clearly see the fine details on Lincoln's cheekbones, jawline, and the wheat stalks on the reverse. The lettering will be sharp, and the surface free from major scratches or corrosion. So why is this coin valuable? Even though millions were minted, most pennies from that era circulated heavily. Finding a 1947 no mint mark Wheat Penny in extremely fine condition is relatively rare because many pennies were handled roughly over decades. Collectors prize these coins for several reasons: the historical significance of Abraham Lincoln's image, the classic wheat reverse design that was soon to be replaced, and the appeal of owning a well-preserved example from the post-World War II era. Now, on to the burning question: how much is the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in extremely Fine condition worth in today's market in extremely fine F40 condition. The 1947 Philadelphia penny typically ranges from around $200, so there you have it. The 1947 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is a classic piece of American history with modest but real collector value. Especially in extremely fine condition, it's a great coin for beginners and seasoned collectors alike. Next up, the 1957 Wheat Penny without the mint mark. The mint mark is usually located just below the date on the front of the coin. For 1957 pennies, if you see no letter at all, that means it was minted in Philadelphia. But what's more exciting for collectors is the coin's condition. The better the condition, the higher the grade, the more valuable your penny becomes. When we say good condition, what exactly does that mean? Coin grading ranges from poor to mint state. For the 1957 Wheat Penny, good condition means the coin shows wear but all major details are visible, Lincoln's profile, the date, and the wheat stalks on the reverse coins in very fine or extremely fine condition have much sharper details with minimal signs of wear. If you have a coin in mint state, it looks almost like it just came off the press. Now, let's get to the million-dollar question. How much is a 1957 Wheat Penny without mint mark worth today in good condition? These pennies are generally worth around $300 or more than face value, but still affordable for collectors before you rush to the bank. It's worth mentioning that some 1957 pennies might have special characteristics like double dies or repunched mint marks, which can significantly increase their value. These errors are rarer and more valuable, so it's worth having your penny examined by a professional if you think you might have one. If you want to keep or grow your collection, always handle your pennies carefully. Avoid cleaning them, as that can reduce their value. Store them in acid-free holders or coin albums. So the 1957 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is a fascinating piece of American numismatic history, a humble coin that can still hold value today. Whether you find one in your change or at a coin shop, it's worth knowing what you have. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting insights, and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a valuable penny in your collection.